Alright folks, normally in these intros I might try to break out some goofs, wax nostalgically, or otherwise abstractly try to shoehorn in some belabored thesis, but we got no time. Well, actually we got about as much time as we want because it's my video, but here on the Cardboard Herald we try not to waste yours. Anyway, the point is that today we're taking a look at not just one, but 3 games in Tatsuco Chuo's Garden Trilogy, including a re-release of Aqua Garden, as well as the upcoming Dino and Sky. More than mere theme swaps, these are 3 distinct titles, though more different flavors of the same slushy, if you know what I mean. In each game, you are the caretaker of an animal sanctuary and claim animals using your owner tile on a board shared by all players, then place said animal onto your board in enclosures adjacent to your mandatorily rotating employee. Key to the success is the cyclical, propulsive nature of the game. In the main board, on your turn, you can move as far as you want around the track, but it's always the player furthest and back who plays next. If everyone else has jumped ahead to get their more perfect placements, the player behind may end up with several successive turns. Similarly, your employee is always on the move, generally a mandatory 1 to 3 spaces, which makes this syncopated puzzle as you try to plan out ideal enclosures given restrictions and other additions you can spend cash to modify them with, from seaweed and aqua, necessary for the turtles and increasing the oxygen capacity, to the tree/volcano and lake system of Dino and Sky, which changes how well certain animals score or can be placed in those enclosures. When all owners have made a full rotation around the central board, the round ends, some cleanup happens, you go again with the first player to make it back on the previous round to be the first to play in the new round, play 3 to 4 rounds based off of player count, and you're done. Each of these games has different bits and bobs, and yeah, I mean quite literally different meeples, which, for my money, are some of the best and cutest meeple work in the biz. But more to the point, even though the core structure is the same in all 3 of these, there's some subtle differences in familiar systems, from how each do income to how each do milestones, so the sort of ancillary system icing that hangs out on top of each of these cakes. Aqua is the baseline vanilla, which is delicious and which the other 2 are built upon. Sky adds a nesting minigame where you try to get pairs of birds in the same zone, invest in a nest, then take mating actions as fixed on the central board, which adds a point multiplier. Then, in the largest complexity hike, though far from insurmountable, Dino introduces the concept of feeding with your own critters, with all critters breaking down into either predator or prey, and your prey animals, though the meeples themselves are not consumed, they produce meat when you obtain them and at the end of each round. Then during feeding actions, your feeder meeple can be rotated around the board, picking up and delivering meat from your meat bag, and if predators get fed by their desired children, I mean produce meat, you climb up your unique prey track, one of several giving you points and other rewards that you get outfitted with at the beginning of the game. Each of these 3 breaks down into an enjoyable, breezy, lightweight affair, with the rotational puzzle pairing well with the sort of active action selection and turn order system, applying easy-to-understand repercussions to make your decisions feel meaningful. Each game also has a separate riff on an achievement system, encouraging you to tackle certain environmental arrangements, with Sky being the most complex, though verging on convoluted in its column and row reward system. Dino again being my personal bae by pairing parameters at setup, and you have to hit both to claim the achievement. Then you get to play 1 of 5 cards dealt to you at the beginning of the game, claiming its reward. Ultimately, there's not much to say against these games. They're all well-designed, pleasant, and incredibly produced. Personally, though, after playing all 3 back to back to back, I couldn't help but feel that the mechanical differences felt more like modules to the same game design as opposed to being distinct titles that just share mechanical similarities, with the easy, if somewhat lazy comparison being Stonemaier Span games, which all three of those are more mechanically distinct from one another than these three here, and those games already question redundancy. That said, if you had to pick one, Dino is my clear front runner here. Did I actually point at? I did point at it. I did the thing. It hits the perfect equilibrium of being more mechanically complex than the very streamlined Aqua, but not as esoteric as the mating and achievement systems in Sky. And plus all of the very, very great components, Dino reigns supreme. But individually, they all hold up, and I think that the differences are subtle enough that your particular flavor of beast is going to be paramount when picking your preference here. But no matter what you go with, whether it's one or all three of these games, they're extremely likable, lightweight games that punch higher than you might initially expect, full of contentious, spiraling outcomes that fit together nicely in a beautiful candy-coated shell. And that is our review. But let me know, what is the one of these games that is most interesting to you, why, and what's your favorite dinosaur? Put it in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being such an awesome community. You know that I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.